So we have to find out the value of the given trigonometric expression in a triangle. So here we'll be using the law of cosines and the law of sines, which is stated here. So let's begin. So first, we're going to rewrite a given trigonometric expression. We have b squared minus c squared over a squared multiplied to sine 2a. Now we're going to break down the value of sine 2a using the formula. Whenever we have sine 2 theta, so that becomes equals to 2 times sine theta times cosine theta, which gives us now the value 2 times sine a times cosine a. We will be able to use the value of sine a and cosine a using the law of sines and cosines. Coming to the next term, we have c squared minus a squared divided by b squared. So this is multiplied to sine 2b, so that's 2 times sine b multiplied to cosine b. And in the third term, we have a squared minus b squared over c squared multiplied to sine 2c. So sine 2c is going to give us 2 times sine c times cosine c. Okay, so we'll apply the law of sines here. Now for that, we'll consider that let's say let these three ratios be equals to a constant lambda. Then sine a will become equals to a over lambda. Sine b then will be equals to b over lambda, and sine c will become equals to c over lambda. So let's use this value. We have b squared minus c squared divided by a squared times 2 multiplied to sine a. So sine a will become a over lambda multiplied to cosine of a. So we're going to use the value of cosine of a, which is b squared plus c squared minus a squared whole divided by 2bc. So we are done with the first term. Let's move on to the next term. Here we have c squared minus a squared divided by b squared whole multiplied to 2 times sine b. So what's the value of sine b? So that's b over lambda multiplied to cosine b. So cosine b, we're going to use the value, which is c squared plus a squared minus b squared divided by 2ca plus the third term, which is a squared minus b squared over c squared multiplied to 2 times sine c. So sine c will be c over lambda multiplied to cosine of c. So that's a squared plus b squared minus c squared divided by 2ab. Fine. Now we can find out the value. So we can factor out a from the numerator denominator. So we'll be getting 2 over lambda times. So here we can also factor out 2 from the numerator to denominator. So we're going to get 1 over lambda multiplied to abc whole multiplied to b squared minus c squared times b squared plus c squared minus a squared. Similarly, we can cancel out 2 and 2. And 1b from the numerator, 1 from the denominator. And this is going to give us 1 over lambda times a, b, c multiplied to c squared minus a squared multiplied to c squared plus a squared minus b squared. And then finally, rewriting the third term, so we can first cancel out c from the numerator into denominator as well as 2. So we have a squared minus b squared divided by lambda times a, b, c multiplied to a squared plus b squared minus c squared. So we have 1 over lambda times a, b, c. We're going to take it as common factor and we're going to multiply each of the expression. So this is going to now give us b raised to the power of 4 minus c raised to the power of 4 minus a squared b squared plus a squared c squared plus c raised to the power of 4 minus a raised to the power of 4 minus c squared b squared plus a squared b squared plus a raised to the power of 4 minus b raised to the power of 4 minus a squared c squared, and one more term, so that's b squared c squared. So here we'll see that's the terms will get cancelled out. So b raised to the power of 4 gets cancelled out, c raised to the power of 4, a raised to the power of 4. Then we have a squared, b squared, a squared c squared and b squared c squared also cancelling out, which leaves us with the value 0. So this is the value of a given trigonometric expression. This is equals to 0.